I've been wanting to make something for a while. Chances that if you're watching this, you're either bored or somehow stumbled upon it, or you have clicked on it because you feel like you can relate. So throughout this video, I've wanted to kind of talk about something that's plaguing a large percentage of people these days, and it's a little demon called anxiety. Let me just say a couple things that are kind of myths and that society believes to be true but aren't. So anxiety it affects anyone at any time. You don't have to be a specific age. You can get it at any time. And the second thing is that anyone can get it. It doesn't matter if you've had an excellent life your entire life. It doesn't matter if you have been struggling your entire life. It can get to anyone, no matter what kind of background you're from. Chances are, if you're watching this, if you're on the computer, you're either going through something like that, or you know someone who is. Either way, it would kind of help to get informed or whatnot. The first thing people find out when they realize that you're not like them is they tell you to reach out to others and to seek help, and that it doesn't matter who you seek help from as long as you're not alone. It's good for you. That's easier said than done, because when people feel like they're trapped, they're not going to want to go outside their comfort zone and talk to people about their issues, because clearly if they have difficulty in facing even everyday life, they're not going to find it too fun to talk to someone they've never met about things that are constantly pushing at your soul. If you try to tell your closest friends who have no history with it, or who have overcome it, chances are they're not going to be too understanding of it either. Because usually when people overcome something like this, their first initial response to you is just get over it, or find something you like to do that helps you distract yourself. Okay, that's also easier said than done. Getting over it is it's like trying to jump a hurdle that's twice your height. You can't do it by yourself, because people are putting all this outside pressure on you to oh, you need to seek, you need to reach out, you need to go to your friends, you need to go to your parents. That makes jumping over the hurdle even harder, because you don't know how to approach people. You can't just be hey, everyday situations are making me feel like I can't handle even the simplest of things. I can't order food at a restaurant. I can't call people. I can't make friends with people. You're not gonna want to go up to people and let them in on your weaknesses. That's just human nature. Nobody's gonna want to do that unless they're really freaking brave. This is where the distracting yourself part comes in. This is actually easier than anything else that people might tell you to do. Sometimes when you first start distracting yourself, whether it be with music, a movie, or your favorite show, it's when you're first trying to distract yourself, it's gonna seem kind of forced, oh god, I'm doing this just because I don't want to get anxious, or oh, I'm doing this just because I don't want to get sad. And it's gonna make you feel like your heart weighs even more, because you know that you'll never truly distract yourself. But trust, you keep at it, and if you genuinely find something you really like doing, it's just gonna push all the bad feelings away. I know this from experience, because when I've been feeling really nervous about stuff, I either find comedy doesn't work for me a lot of the time. When I try laughing things off, it only works 5% of the time, because laughter is, as much as people say laughter is good for the soul, it's also really hard to find something to laugh at when you're feeling low. So for me, that's something that's always helped was intelligent stimulation. whenever I tend to feel stressed out or down, I like to research like stuff about things that interest me. I like to look at stuff relating to astronomy. I like to read books on philosophy. And those things not only help me to distract myself, but if you're interested in those kinds of things, you should know that astronomy and philosophy, both of them together, really give you like a perspective or a bigger picture of what your situation really is. So if you're upset about something minor, like getting in a fight with your friend, or like getting a bad mark in a test, you really look at the whole spectrum of it and you're like, it could be a lot worse. I'm not doing that badly, so why am I so worked up over it? And that's easy to say because people who have anxiety, they get worked up over everything. It's just the way they are, and I should know because my whole life, even when I was a child, I've been like, I thought I was different from everyone because of the way I reacted to everything. People would take the most trivial things, the most everyday events, and the way I would react to them is I would get worried about everything, I would start overthinking it, I would start analyzing it from every perspective, and then people would just be like, Andy, what are you doing? Just chill out. I cannot chill out. And that's probably another thing that really sucks to hear. Chill out. When that makes you feel even worse. Why would you tell someone to chill out when you know it's like practically impossible for them to even grasp the situation, let alone handle it with like calmness. So yes, we know that's not easy. If you do find the right thing to distract yourself with, watch the movie Donnie Darko. But after I've watched it a few times and I've showed it to my friends and they liked it too, that movie itself was kind of an escape because it every time I got down, I would just think of like, I don't know, tangent universes or time travel or whatnot. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Recently, the entire month of January and like February have not been that much fun for me. And I'm saying this because winter generally, makes a person feel like crap because the sun's never out, it's always cold, you can't go outside, you can't do anything. All you can do is like sit in your room and think, and that's not always the healthiest thing to do. So these past couple months have been like taking a toll on everything, and I've become just so much more antisocial. I don't want to talk to people anymore because it just seems like people are out to get you. People are going to do nothing but harm you. And that's what it feels like when you're constantly going through stress. You tend to lose trust in people, even your closest friends. Basically, what I've done is that I knew I had to distract myself. I knew I had to find something I like doing, or else I would just be consumed by all of this negative energy. So, usually, people distract themselves with happy things, but that only makes me feel worse. And I don't know if it's just me or a collectivity of people, but I've started rewatching the show I really like called Death Note, and it's pretty popular, so for those of you who have heard it, it's pretty dark, but it deals with a lot of like dense themes that have honestly helped me take my mind off a lot of stuff. And just the way that show is done changed my style of thinking. So I was able to be more like observant, objective, kind of distant, but not in a bad way. So that's what helped me distract myself. So for those of you who don't find that happy things help you distract yourself, you may want to like kind of have some intellectual stimulation or just have something like for your brain to work with, so it's not just sitting there by itself thinking about every detail that you might have done wrong in your life. As for reaching out and talking to your friends and stuff, at first you feel like you hate everybody because you're like, oh god, I'm so alone, nobody, like I'm the only person going through this, and I'm the only person who will ever go through it. Nobody can ever feel the stress I have to go through. That is something you plant in your own head, which is not a reality. People are not open. A lot of people you know, even your closest friends, may be hiding really important things. You know people only as they are on the surface. You don't know people's hidden motives. You don't know what people are afraid of. You don't know what people secretly desire. You don't know anything about other than what they choose to show you. So it's kind of vital that you, I guess, talk to them, bring it up. A true friend will notice that something is wrong and they will lend a hand. A lot of times it's not easy. Your friends are not mind readers. They're buddies. They're not going to read your mind and find out that, oh, this is wrong with you, so I have to do this. Sometimes you have to be the one to let them know, or else nothing's going to get better. And if it feels like after you've let them know and they still don't do anything, it feels like you're just going into an even deeper hole of despair, because you're like, I tried and nothing came out of it, and now I'm going to go even deeper back into that hole of despair. And it happens for everyone, because not everyone has the most understanding friends. I mean, yes, they're fun to hang out with, but when it really comes down to the mentality of things, not a lot of people are going to understand you. So at this point is kind of what you don't want to hear right now. But you have to be your own best friend. And that's hard to say, that's especially hard to act upon when it feels like your thoughts are consuming every part of your being. But you have to remember that this is something that's not going to stay with you forever. It's going to pass. And when it does pass, you're going to feel how you used to. You're going to feel happy and carefree. And maybe you're not going to be happy and carefree forever. Feelings, every single feeling comes in waves. You may feel happy one day, sad the next, fearful the next, joyful the next. You have to find a way to live for those positive feelings rather than to simply tolerate being alive for the negatives. There's a lot of good in life, and maybe as teenagers we don't realize that because we're all being pressured by our future, by our friends, by our parents. But high school is only 4 years of your life. It will pass, and you will move on to bigger and better things. You'll go to college or university. You'll get a job you really like, and you'll settle down with people. And that's what you have to live for. Find the good in even the smaller things. Even if you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh yay, I'm gonna have a really good breakfast today. That's something to look forward to. Life isn't all bad. We as humans have our brains scientifically focus on the negative rather than the positive. And a lot of the time, we just push the positive things aside and focus on the negative. That quote that I've been hearing everywhere, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. People don't take that into consideration because they're like, oh god, it's over. Okay. Yes, it's difficult to let go of anything, whether it's been like friendships or times in your lives, but that doesn't mean they're gone forever, because something like mediocre has happened. That means even better things are on their way. You just have to like look forward to the better things and realize that this experience is only going to help you grow. And from that experience, you have to open yourself up, as hard as it is, for the good things to come. Because without the bad, you wouldn't have the good, and without the good, you wouldn't have the bad. It's like yin and yang. So there is no good without the bad. Because we think in black and white. That's all I kind of wanted to touch on. If anyone kind of has questions or wishes to bring something up to me, you can leave a comment on this video, and I'll try to get back to you. And maybe if you guys like this, then I'll try to do another segment for like mental health and whatnot. Anything that's been troubling you, you will overcome it. It's just a matter of time and a matter of letting yourself like grow from that. Hope you enjoyed listening to me then. Bye.